G'day, g'day. Welcome back to the north. Our fishies are doing wonderful today. Some of you will notice I put up a video about sort of dissing quarantine when it comes to these fish. And I understand that's going to get a reaction from some people, and that's fine. But I'm going to, in this video, talk about why your discus fish died on you, or, in the past or whatever. Or, maybe you're even, why are my fish dying now? And there's differences between keeping these fish and all the other fish you've ever kept. And then it's, at the same time, they're fish like all the other fish you ever kept. So you just have to accommodate for the number one killer of discus. And even when you bring new fish home, it's not actually what's in the fish that's going to cause the problem. 9 times out of 10, what you carry home with these fish is in the bag of water that they're transported in, and it's bacteria. The number one cause of losing a tank full of discus after you just brought a new one home and you put it in and you say didn't quarantine and all that stuff is you've introduced a resilient form of bacteria into your water column, and you're not doing anything to deal with bacteria in your water column because you rightfully so think that it's not a problem. It's never been a problem for you with any of the other fish you've ever owned. So you rightfully believe that it's just an issue you're not going to notice. You're going to overlook it. And all of a sudden it's going to look like you've brought home some kind of, fish zombie plague. And there's no parasites. There's no, not initially anyway. And what you've done is you've released bacteria into your water column, and it started to multiply, and it multiplied very quickly. And now it's also choking out your oxygen supply because it's messing with your cycle. It's reducing your beneficial bacteria population, and then your tank starts to basically crash, and you don't understand why, because you're doing everything like you always do, and it used to be stable, and now it's unstable, and the instability is actually what's going to wipe out all your fish. Bacteria kills discus, and that's why I stress that you can't run discus in a swamp tank, because a swamp tank's all about having a biotope in your water column, and that means that you've got free-floating bacteria in your water column, and as soon as you get the wrong 1 or 2 species of bacteria in your water column, and it's going to happen because it's going to either come off of you or it's going to come off some food. Maybe you didn't wash your hands good enough after you used the bathroom. And you just let the wrong kind of bacteria into your column, and that's it. These fish are on their way. They're going to start withering away one at a time and die off on you. And but that's what happens. So like I brought home plants. I didn't even think plants would cause me a problem, right? But there was some form of bacteria that came with my plants, and then boom, I had that problem. I was fighting it all last summer. I had 5 fish that were affected by whatever form of bacteria entered my tank. They were all the same species. They were all the same strain. They were these guys. She's stunted because of it. She was so sick. She's better now. And I tried medicating it out. Everything else, there was nothing I could do to get. It was bacteria, and it came in with a plant. Didn't even come in with a fish. And I just didn't think that. You just don't think that would be possible. But and it wouldn't have bothered any other species of fish. It actually didn't bother most of my discus. It bothered 5 of like 18. And I ended up losing 4 of the 5 before I figured out that I had to basically sterilize my water column. And there's the secret to discus. I'm sterilizing my water column running UV. You can do it running Purigen, and there's all kinds of other chemical pads. There's several brands out there, and I can't think of the other names right now, but same idea. And they'll literally, do this to your water column without using UV. But you just want sterilized water and no bacteria. And these fish will do fine. These fish will do fine. Now, as for sticking a discus in a quarantine tank by itself, I wasn't specific enough about that in the last video. These are social fish, and they do better when they feel emotionally happy, and they get that when they're in a large shoal. They feel safe and comfortable and protected, and then they're more likely to eat. And if they're more likely to eat, they're more likely to stay strong. And if they stay strong, they're not going to get sick. Their immune systems stay high. They don't get sick. They resist all of the nasties. There's always nasties in your tank. The trick is to keep the fish healthy, and their immune systems keep the nasties out. That's the trick. So you go throw this very social fish into a tank by itself, a little 20-gallon tank by itself. And then because it's in a 20-gallon tank, you got to do huge water changes every day. So there's a stressful event. And he's stressed out because he's alone. Like, the fish is already not eating just from those two things alone. Now the not eating is creating physical stress and weakening the fish. So then you put it through 2 weeks of that, and then you bring that severely stressed out weakened fish into your main tank, right? Well, now that weakened fish is meeting 20 other fish, okay, that might be carrying something that every fish in your tank has overcome. From its immune system has rendered it immune, all your fish immune to, say, a particular pathogen that they're all carrying. And then you put in this new fish, and now, well, you're basically just signing him off to death. He's got to hope that none of those other fish in your tank are carrying something that he can now catch, and then you've weakened the crap out of him because he's been sitting in that stressful 20-gallon tank for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, however long you do it. So quarantine is not always what it's cracked up to be. Know your species, learn how to identify illness, and understand when something might be detrimental to the type of fish you're trying to use a certain strategy on. Like I said, if I bought neons, they'd be quarantined because that's just how it works with those. If I bought Rominos, they'd be quarantined because you're going to buy a large group of them, and there's more fish, the odds go up. Also, the way that they farm and raise neons and Rominos is very conducive to bacterial problems, and bacterial problems will wipe out your discus, as I've just said. So, you gotta play it by ear, and you gotta do it, do things the right thing for the right fish. You gotta behave the right way for the right fish, and that's basically the point I was getting at in my last video. So I just want to make this one to basically fill in the gaps, so to speak, because there's going to be a lot of finger pointing. So I just want to be clear. Thanks for watching. Ciao for now.